Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Houbaer begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, families have been reunited as direct flights from New Zealand resumed in Hobart this morning. In a rebooting of the Trans-Tasman network, the capital's airport is ready to revive its international market.
Touching down on Tasmanian shores, the wait was finally over for these loved ones, a more than 2,000-kilometre journey well worth the embrace.
How long's it been since you saw Nana?
3 years.
I'm really emotional because it's just such an exciting time. And it's great that we can fly straight from Auckland to Hobart.
Some meeting new additions to the family for the very first time.
Overwhelmed?
Arrival gates predicted to get a lot busier with the reopening of direct flights.
Starting at 2 flights a week on Thursdays and Sundays. Over the summer that'll increase to 3 flights a week. And we're of course hoping the flights will be so successful that they'll grow beyond that as well.
It's hoped to bolster an already healthy visitor market from the North Island. Economic figures show tourism spending could increase by up to $120 million a year.
We're really now in an unrestricted phase in terms of the movement of people. It's enabling these flights to be returned, and now we can enjoy each other's company and new travel opportunities.
The services were only introduced in March last year before border closures grounded all international aircraft, but there is now confidence our Kiwi neighbours will return in droves.
Oh, it's hugely exciting. Having them come back after almost a year's break is a terrific milestone for Tasmania.
Hobart's international airport now truly living up to its name, saying kia ora with open arms. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
Meanwhile, Launceston Airport is bracing for a bumper school holiday travel period. Holidaymakers are being encouraged to plan ahead and arrive with plenty of time before their flight departure. Extra staff and volunteers will help manage the influx of visitors.
We're expecting up to 3,800 passengers a day, so that's quite an increase over our normal average, and we're seeing this very, very strong winter demand as well from inbound passengers.
It comes off the back of a busy few months on the runway, with June passenger numbers almost 5% higher than pre-COVID levels. Multiple motorists have had a lucky escape following a 9-vehicle crash at Longford this morning. Police say the situation could have been a lot worse after 3 separate incidents caused chaos on the morning commute.
It was a series of unfortunate events. Traffic brought to a standstill this morning near Longford following a multi-vehicle crash.
Shortly after 8 a.m, police were advised of a crash on Illawarra Road. Once police attended, it was noted that there were 8 vehicles and 1 bus involved. A
total of 9 vehicles damaged in 3 separate crashes at the same site. The road was closed for several hours between the Longford roundabout and the Midland Highway junction.
With the first incident, it was in relation to someone that had slightly pulled over on the side of the road. Investigations are still continuing in relation to that crash.
Initial investigations also suggest weather conditions might have been a factor with the other 2 incidents. 2 women were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say it could have been much worse, reminding drivers to pay attention to the road and conditions.
Tasmania Police would like to reiterate, please drive to the conditions. If the roads are wet and there's fog, we really need to slow down and be mindful of other road users as well.
Illawarra Road was reopened to traffic just before midday. Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmanian News.
A local MP has come under fire following comments made on social media which saw him weigh into the recent controversial decision made by the US Supreme Court. Liberal Felix Ellis said while abortion is legal in Tasmania, there are other options for women and families. His political opponents have labelled the words as insensitive. It comes after the Premier assured there would be no change to the laws in the state. An operation to salvage sunken tugboats in the Mersey River has been delayed. In late January, a cement carrier collided with 2 boats. A weather pattern on the east coast prevented the departure of the salvage barge and tug from Brisbane last weekend. There's no timeline set on when the equipment will arrive in Devonport. Launceston's Students' Works program has been thrown a lifeline until the end of the year. Funding for teachers at the Rochelle School was expected to be withdrawn by next term. But following crisis talks, the state government has confirmed it will fund the positions until the end of 2022. The alternate education program's future beyond then remains unclear. Tasmanian farmers are at the forefront of World Chocolate Day as Cadbury celebrates those behind their product. More than 50 local farmers are part of the chain of suppliers delivering milk to the factory.
On the surface, Mark Griffin is a humble Tasmanian farmer. But if you have eaten a block of Cadbury chocolate, chances are it was made from his cow's milk.
We're a fifth generation farm that's been here since 1860, milking cows. We've been supplying Cadbury for the past 3 years.
As part of World Chocolate Day, Cadbury is recognising the farmers that make up their supply chain. Mr Griffin and his 900 cows are one of more than 50 sites that the chocolatier sources its milk from.
It's great to be part of a supply chain where we know exactly where our milk's going to.
We got that relationship with our farmers that makes it a little bit unique in the fact that they're all part of our family. So, that's the important thing.
This farm alone supplies 5 million litres of milk each year to Cadbury in the quest of satisfying the sweet tooth of chocolate lovers around the world. Together with the other suppliers, they use close to 100 million litres of milk to make 60,000 tonnes of chocolate annually. Cadbury also recently commemorating 100 years of operations with their farmers. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian town steeped in history is about to celebrate one of its oldest institutions. The Avondale Football Club is marking 130 years in existence by pulling together players from a golden past.
For every frayed Guernsey and faded photo, there's a story. 130 years of them.
I grew up over there on the corner where the white place is.
Kevin Lewis has seen more of this club than anyone else. He holds the senior games record, having played 343 of them. He can't remember his first, but clearly remembers his last.
It was here at Avondale. I got barreled over there on the bottom wing, and I thought, that's it.
The bruises are gone, but the good feelings remain. All of the old boys here today were part of Avondale's golden era in the 70s, a decade yielding 3 flags.
I was lucky enough to play with about 4 clubs. Whatever club you get to, there's good people in it, bad people in it. But Avondale people, I've never had one bit of trouble.
And their stories will only get taller when a mass reunion takes place during Saturday's home game. Despite the town's small size, Avondale has outlasted old rivals like Cressy, Bishopsburn, Powatina and Hagley in the old Esk League.
Years often think all them players are gone. I've never ever seen them, never ever heard of them for years, they've all gone. Yet all these blokes are still here.
The only thing older than the club itself is the Oval's name. Morven may have changed to Avondale around the 1830s, but the name here at the ground stuck. That longevity put down to a simple theory.
Mateship.
Okay. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
The state government has released its latest tobacco action plan in a bid to reduce the number of smoking-related deaths in Tasmania. According to census data, the state has the highest smoking rates in the country. The action plan will focus on helping smokers quit, preventing others from taking up the habit and discouraging the use of e-cigarettes. On average, more than 500 Tasmanian lives are lost each year from smoking.
After copping a 38-goal loss on the weekend, Glenorchy is taking stock and seeing what could be learnt after the one-sided onslaught at the hands of the reigning premier.
Some of these boys have been thrust into senior footy at a very early age. I think we've had 18 debutants this year. Ideally, you'd like to only put 3 or 4 in a year, give them a bit of a taste. But yeah, I suppose what we're hopeful is that we can build on this for the future.
Glenorchy faces Clarence at home on the weekend. The Women's Big Bash is heading to Latrobe. The home of Darryl Baldock will host the Hurricanes when they play the Melbourne Stars on November 15 and 16. New signing Emma Mannix-Jeeves will be there. She spoke candidly on her road back to the Hurricanes after losing her contract in 2020.
To be honest, I needed the kick up the bum to get going and to know that this is what I wanted to do with my life, and I wanted to live the ups and downs.
Against the heat.
This season also marks the return of a full women's Big Bash fixture. The first home game at Blunston is on November 3. And netball teams will don special Stay Chatty bibs this weekend to recognise mental health. Kingston and Corana will go a step further when they play for the Stay Chatty Shield. It's been a mainstay in Kingston's club rooms. The sides won every encounter since it started in 2018. But adding the league title is still the biggest goal.
We'd love to be the underdog story, you know, coming down from the bottom sort of four and then come into finals.
The sides play at Kingston in a Friday night clash.
Good evening. Hobart and Devonport 14 degrees today. Launceston and Burnie reached 13, while St Helens hit our high with 15 degrees. Smithton and Friendly Beaches 14 today. Lowhead, Grove, Ouse and the Islands 13. Strawn a top of 12. Strawn topped the rainfall list to 3 p.m. with 6 millimetres as the west found most of the cloud today, while the frontal band shot off to the east. High level cloud is over southwest WA, cloud over southern parts of the mainland, and a trough has the cover up the east coast. Tomorrow the high continues its eastward movement, providing the stable weather for most of the country. Wind southwesterly as that high tracks to the east, blowing up to 20 to 30 knots, swells up to 3.5 metres. A strong wind warning has been issued for all Tasmanian coastal waters. Forecast for tomorrow. Hobart showery and 11. 11 for Huonville, showery for Campania, 11 degrees. Launceston a top tomorrow of 12 with showers developing, partly cloudy for Devonport, 13 the high for Georgetown with a shower or two on the way. Burnie partly cloudy and 12, 11 the high for Strawn, showers in the west, a possible shower for Wynyard 13, 12 for St Helens, Swansea showers on the way as well, 12 degrees, 11 the high for Port Arthur. To the weekend now and a few showers easing with mainly fine weather over the north and west, areas of morning fog and frost on Sunday followed by a mostly fine day, and on Monday scattered showers developing extending to most areas by evening. Partly cloudy and 23 in Perth tomorrow, showers increasing over Adelaide, a wet day in Melbourne. Sunny though for Sydney, Brisbane, Cairns and Darwin. Partly cloudy in Hobart, it's 9 right now, clear in Launceston 7 and 8 degrees in Devonport, and that's the weather, Louise, on what I believe is one of your favourite days, World Chocolate Day. Have some news coming in from Las Vegas too that a magician has been found with chocolate all over his shirt. Apparently he had a couple of Twix up his sleeve.
Oh, honestly, Merv, what are we going to do with you? Thank you for that. That's all your news for this Thursday night. I'll be back later on with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.